back in the junkyard. Now I'm just doing the little common upgrade for the 5.0s, early 5.0s, you know, the gt40 upper and lower intake manifold. This is off a 2000 Ford Explorer. So I'm gonna take this whole upper, I don't have a start point, so what I'm gonna try to do is take the bottom lower intake off and just take it off as one whole unit, since I don't have a start point, unless I gotta go home and get some more tools. But that's what I'm about to do right now. All right, let's begin. All right, so I'm back to get the lower intake. Yesterday I didn't have all my tools, so I had to come back, especially this front nut right here is giving me a hard time. So I brought my breaker bar, but now I gotta get the lower intake off this 2000 Explorer. So more to come. All right, folks, so I'm back from the junkyard, and I done cleaned up the lower intake manifold, painted it same as I did with the upper intake, and painted that too. So now I'm going to start taking off the upper and lower intake manifold and disconnecting all the, you know, electrical stuff and all that good stuff. All right, so let's get crack-a-lacking. All right, folks, so when you're taking off the upper intake manifold, there's gonna be 5 bolt, well, T20 screws up top, and this is what you're gonna need. I got this a while back from, I think, Advanced Auto, and basically you just take those 4 bolts off, and then it exposes the 2 hidden ones that's there that you have to basically take off to get the upper intake manifold off. So that's what I'm gonna do. I think those are 13s. All right, so after you get the 6 bolts off, you got 2 up here, you got 2 behind the cover, then you got 2 right there, as you can see, those 2. So once you get those loosened, like I said, they're either 13s or half, whichever you have to use. Once you get those 6 loosened, you can just pop the upper intake manifold off, and that's what I'm about to do now. All right, so now that you got the upper intake manifold off, now we gotta start connecting the injectors, fuel rails, and any other electrical equipment hooked up to the lower intake manifold. So that's what I'm gonna do now, and it's same 13mm bolts, and those go right here. As you can see, I don't know what was leaking right here. Something was leaking. Oh yeah, that was when my fuel line freaking was leaking. Still got some gas there. Well, good thing I found it, but I'm changing anyway. So once I get these off, I'll show you what's next. All right, folks, so I got the lower intake manifold off. And as you can see, it's kind of a dirty job. You got coolant that falls on the ground and falls into the valley of the engine block. So I'm just gonna clean that up. And I'm gonna replace those blue gaskets. There's one in the back and one in the front. I'm gonna replace both of those because it comes with a kit. So I'm already here, might as well, why not, right? So here's my old lower intake manifold. As you can see, this thing's pretty gouged up. I don't know why that is, but it is. And what I'm gonna do is measure it to see how much difference is it, because you do see these holes are a lot bigger compared to the old one, but sorry, I'm gonna measure just to see how much of a difference it really is. But yeah, more to come once I start reinstalling everything. All right, folks, so now I got them side by side. Now I'm just gonna basically measure the air intake holes and see what's the difference in size. So hold on. All right, so the stock one is 39.69 millimeters, and that's me measuring from basically left to right side, and that's what the stock one is at. So now I'm gonna measure the Explorer GT40 ones to see what those are. All right, so the GT40 Explorer air intake measure at 41.52. So I think the last one was 39, so it's that 2 more millimeters. So that's 2 more millimeters airflow. So that's a little bit more boost. You know, it's like a supercharger. Amount of pound of boost you put in, basically it's the amount of air it's going to let in. So if you were ever going to basically want to port out your original one to the Explorer, you have to port it out to 41.52 millimeters. And that is basically the big difference in what's going on from the stock lower intake manifold to the Exploring GT40 lower intake and Cobra ones. But all right, so this is just part one. More to come. Peace.